I and my ilk talk a lot about somatic resonance, about listening to the body, the wisdom of the body, check in with your body. Your body has the answers. All of this stuff over and over again, right? And it can sound a little out there, a little abstract if anyone doesn't have direct experience of it. And I just want to take a minute here to, try to ground that, try to directly explain what does this actually feel like? What actually happens? What is this state of somatic resonance? And my simplest definition, maybe, is just that somatic resonance is kind of an expanding frontier where you bring bodied awareness to more and more areas of your being. Just that embodied, simple knowing to more and more aspects of your life. And what do I mean by that simple embodied knowing? For one thing, are you hungry right now? Actually take a second, just check, am I hungry? Yeah, a little. Or, nope, not even a little bit. What did you do there? You kind of dropped awareness into the stomach, brought it back up, and yep, I know my situation. I know what hunger is like for me right now. You didn't have to go meditate on a hilltop for 40 hours, fasting and taking no water and lightly levitating off the ground, just a little bit, just a little levitation off the ground, and then come out in a burst of light and, no, I am not hungry. Or at least I wasn't before I started meditating. Now it's been 40 hours. I could use a sandwich, yeah. It's not this big thing. It doesn't need to be anything more than that simple drop of awareness into the situation that is currently here, and then back up to, all right, what am I going to do about that situation? Or is there anything required from me for that situation? That's it. And the simplest ones of these are ones that we barely even bother thinking about as embodied knowing or somatic resonance. But just checking if you're hungry, checking if you have to pee, those are kind of the stage zero of somatic resonance. And from there, expanding to more and more areas of your life. And some people already have a certain amount of expansion into other areas, or really bad at some areas. We all kind of have our own mix of things that are so simple and obvious to us that we barely even need to think about it as being embodied knowing. We just go through our day and navigate using that sense. Interpersonal sense for some people. Very easy, immediate, intuitive. You meet someone and pretty immediately, okay, I can trust them. Or, oh, they're like saying one thing, but they're implying this other thing. That's just information that I have. It was very simple for me to recognize that. And then for other people, totally inept, cannot figure out for the life of them what the person they're talking to is trying to say, what their vibe is, if they can be trusted, all of that. In each case, that is either a lack of somatic resonance or just somatic resonance that's so direct and easy, you don't even need to think about it. If you wanted to, you couldn't really pin down what are the exact things that helped me to trust that person, to realize what they were saying, to notice how to kind of give and take in that conversation. You might be able to think about it later, run back the tape and figure it out. But before any of that, it's just that simple, direct body knowing of, okay, they're throwing a little energy at me. I'm going to move it around, chuck it back at them, and this will be a fun interaction. That's it. That's all it needed to be. And this can expand surprisingly far. Another kind of larger but simpler one is just what is beautiful, what is ugly. Each person kind of has their own way of recognizing values like this. What is good? What is bad? What is just like really striking me as something positive, beautiful, true, wonderful, and what just makes me uneasy, feels sinister, feels like I just want to get away from it. All of those reactions are some type of somatic resonance. And if we can expand that sense, that ability to bring that bodied knowing, to just have on tap that basic bodied knowing in more and more situations, I cannot describe to you how much easier it makes certain things. Recent example for me from just a couple months ago, I had a project that I was working on for several weeks, like really putting in a lot of time and effort and writing and restructuring and trying to figure out who to talk to about it, how to market it, all these different things. And then I was having just a really stressful morning with it one time. I got on the meditation cushion, took a few breaths, and it took almost no time after I just dropped all of my, what do I do about this? What steps do I take? Once I dropped all that day-to-day stress about it, I was free to suddenly notice everything in my body going, I have no interest in this project. It seemed like something I should be interested in, something that would be in my niche. I just don't care about it at all. I have no interest or energy. And yeah, that's all it took, was letting myself drop all of the stuff that I thought I should be thinking and feeling about it, all of the tangled knots of, it would be good if I could care and do things about this. And suddenly what was directly immediately there, just the same as I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I don't care about this. I don't want to do this. I don't see any benefit of making this a bigger part of my life, of, doing more than the time I've already wasted on it and making the next few months of my life also about it. That just feels bad. I don't want any part of that. I'm not going to be doing that. And then, I had a bit of a mournful rest of the day, just noticing I've spent so much time on this. But by the next day, a couple days later, excellent. I was free. I was no longer just trying to bind myself with what I should have been doing there. Good. Honestly, that was much more simple and direct than any of these pros and cons lists or these little diagrammed tricks that people have to try to figure out what they think and what they want and which emotions are guiding them and all of this stuff. I could have gone through that and I might have figured out the same output. But here it was much simpler to just drop in, notice what's there, and go, okay, I'm a little hungry, and I have no interest in this being a part of my life. Cool. But it really is that simple. And that, there's that much potential to it as well. As it kind of moves out into more and more areas of your life, it can become this very rarefied thing where you just kind of start to notice that you can trust your body's reaction to something. Even in situations for me, some of the most rarefied ones are deep in meditation, something will come up and it's not a situation that I've really had before. It's not a situation that I've read about before that I can connect with. Okay, here's the next step that happens after that. And normally it might just be confusing. I would just stop and drop everything. But if I'm really checked in with the body at that time, it becomes pretty easy to just go, oh, doing this with it feels really good. And then something just starts to unfold on its own that is really precious and really special. And it's just kind of a new, I like Burbeo's phrase, again, the playground at the edge. It opens up a new playground at the edge of my capabilities, at the edge of my perception. And just more possibilities become available because I don't have to, for every little decision, I don't need to wander around in a fog, unsure what's happening. I don't have to read through a bunch of books and try to find a good framework to list out all of my prior commitments and emotional entanglements and whatever else. I can just notice, oh, this is what the situation wants. This is what the body thinks about this. This is what awareness is tugging me towards. And it just happens. I just do it, right? I don't need to lay out a full plan every time I'm hungry for, okay, I need X number of calories and X macronutrient. This place is the closest restaurant and this one has extra ingredient. No, I can just go, oh, I'm hungry. Ah, I think I still have some of that stew from yesterday. Stew sounds good. We're doing that. Same thing in ever more areas of your life. Just, I got this new job offer and my boss keeps treating me like crap at the current job. Should I really switch? Like, should I go? Actually, no. Switching feels worse at the moment. My only real problem is, okay, actually, I'm half of the problem with my boss. I can take care of my half of that issue, see how it works from there, and keep the job that I know is a very good job and that I already know I enjoy the work part of. I just need to untangle some of the knots in the social side of it. Okay, fine, I'll do that. Again, simple knowing. It's just there. When you just drop into the situation, notice what is obvious about the situation you find yourself in. That's the somatic resonance. What has become obvious once I put my attention on this? And yeah, whether that sounds too simple and mundane or too woo and abstract, what it actually is just a very simple, direct, and expansively powerful part of life that I think everyone should have access to. It makes everything else so much easier in your life when you can just drop in and have that to guide you. Have that to show some next step of where do I want to be with this? What needs to happen next? What is my real sense of what I'm doing here?